Hello everyone, here is Muli from Little Wisdom. Today we are going to continue the law of gender rigidity and specifically talk about 6 common gender projection types, which can be quite dangerous when things go into extremes. Here I will use some fictional scenarios to demonstrate each type. Let's start with the first one straight away, the superior man. Let's imagine I have a friend called Lisa. A few months ago, she told me that she fell in love with a man who was strong, confident, brilliant, and full of self-assurance. At least that is what she has told me. As a friend, I was happy for her to find such an excellent partner. However, after a while, I noticed something went wrong. The man became more and more manipulating and always tried to control her. And Lisa became very insecure and bent to his manipulation and started to blame herself if there was any conflict between them. After talking with her, I realized that her insecurity came deeply from her low self-esteem, which resulted from the internalized critical voices from her father and others. She was not able to develop her own strength and confidence, therefore search for these qualities in men externally. So building a strong core within is the only solution for her. Firstly, she should realize that the source of her insecurity has nothing to do with her true intelligence and abilities, but the mentally accepted critical opinions of others. Next, she needs to actively work at developing her assertiveness and self-esteem step by step through actions such as completing a project independently, mastering a new skill, starting a business, trying to face a challenge that she has always avoided. Through these actions, she will slowly realize that she is strong, creative, full of potential and power. Only when she is able to see her own value with great clarity, she is able to see the true worth and character of men she meets and have a clear judgment. Scenario number 2, the woman to worship him. This time, let's have a look at the life experiences of Peter. Peter was born and grew up in a family where his mother adored him a lot by showering him with great attention. This filled Peter with confidence. That's great. But at the same time, he became addicted to this attention. And to obtain his mother's attention and love, Peter pushed himself very hard, trying to live up to the mother's expectations. He looks perfect from outside. He was an excellent student at school, graduated from a famous university, and has a well-paid job. He's constantly working on improving himself, chasing one goal after another, never satisfied with his achievements. This may sound great for many people. However, deep inside, something is missing. He needs comfort. But it seems that he doesn't know how to do that. When it comes to relationships, he tends to be attracted to women who are attentive to him, give him warm and engaging feelings, and even admired him as a hero. His ex-girlfriend Jennifer was a great example. At the very beginning, Jennifer was attracted to Peter due to his ambitious image and expressed her admiration to him directly. Soon, they started a serious relationship. After a while, Jennifer realized that she lost herself slowly in this relationship. She felt somehow manipulated to play the nice, attentive role all the time as Peter wanted. At a certain point, she stopped to play that role and tried to be herself again. But this time, Peter blamed her for the sudden change in character and considered that as deceiving. After some conflicts, Jennifer chose to break up and leave, which was very painful for Peter, because that gave him the feeling of abandonment. The situation is slightly different now, but the root has never changed. Peter is now in a relationship with Jen, who is willing to play that role. But he feels the resentment at his dependency and therefore is very unhappy for the current relationship and plans to withdraw from it. What Peter should do is firstly see his pattern and understand the root of it. Then try to develop this mothering quality from within, which he projects onto the women. He needs to learn how to comfort and soothe himself and be satisfied with his great achievements. Only when he is able to give himself enough attention, he is ready to give to others more and enjoy being with a partner as who she is. Scenario number 3. The elusive woman of perfection. Let's assume that you have a friend called John. It seems like he is searching for his muse constantly, but never able to settle down with anyone. He imagines his ideal partner should have all positive traits, such as wideness, creativity, and full of energy, and he expects to experience all wonderful moments with her. But once he's in a relationship, he becomes disappointed quickly when he realizes that the woman in front of him is just not what he wants. Then he moves to the next one, hoping the next one will be his Miss Perfect. The deep reason behind it is that when he was a child, his mother was not totally there for him, or maybe even expected him to give her attention and validation. So he feels a great emptiness inside, which needs to be filled. However, he cannot express what he actually wants and misses, so he is imagining vaguely all elements he thinks he never got from his mother and even other women in his life. To jump out of this trap, he must firstly recognize the pattern. Secondly, learn to connect with his own feminine spirits and loosen up his thought in order to build a muse from within. Last but not least, he needs to find and interact with a real woman, let her be who she is, and try to accept the differences between his projection and reality. Scenario number 4. The lovely rebel. Chris is a quiet, lovely girl who seems very kind and agreeable. She never says no to anybody. However, she has a strange tendency to fall in love with men who seem completely different from her. They tend to be young nonconformists who disdain for authority. Her relationships with these men always end quickly because they turn out to be very lazy, ineffectual, and also extremely controlling and domineering. But why Chris considered them as attractive at the first sight? Well, the sad story might have already started from her strong patriarchal father, who is distant and strict and set rules and conventions in the family. Chris suffered a lot from the criticism from her father and unfortunately internalized these critical voices. You may ask why she didn't rebel against her father. Well, she dreamed of rebelling, but sadly ended in obeying. Although it is not shown on the surface, her rebel spirit has not disappeared, but just repressed and goes to form an angry and resentful animus. In another word, she externalizes the rebelliousness instead of developing her own within. That's why she found those rebellious men extremely appealing at the first moment. To save herself from the trap, firstly, she must recognize her projection. Secondly, developing independence, assertiveness, and power to disobey in herself. It is not easy to do that, but she can start to practice saying no, breaking some rules step by step. Scenario number 5. The fallen woman. Molly had a lovely neighbor called Daniel, who is a very well-educated man and shows his kindness to everyone around. He was a good, obedient boy and excellent student at school under the influence of a strong mother figure in his childhood. Consciously, he is attracted to well-educated women. However, the repressed, playful, sensual, and earthy side of his character often leads him to women who seem completely opposite from him. Not as educated as he is, or even dubious about their character and past. They often come from a different cultural or social class and are less physically restrained than most women. Everyone from outside can see the unmatching between them clearly, but unfortunately he doesn't. In his eyes, women like that are earthy, weak, vulnerable. They need protection, education, and money. He's willing and ready to help and protect. However, the reality often turns out not as is expected. these women do not resemble the ideal women he fantasizes about, or even the opposite. They are quite smart, ambitious, and strong-willed. By underestimating their strengths, he often ends up as a passive slave of them. To break the dangerous pattern, Daniel should start to develop a less conventional side of his character. Specifically, move out of his comfort zone, try new experiences, bring more challenges, risks, or even a bit danger into his life and work to loosen himself up. Moreover, he can try to develop a more physical and sensual side of character, and begin to actively initiate the guilty pleasures with any type of woman to satisfy his urges. Scenario number 6. The devilish romantic. Anna grew up in a family where her father gave her very intensive or even flirtatious attention. With time, she became quite addicted to his attention and very good at playing the kind of girl that Daddy wanted. As a result, recapturing this kind of attention becomes her lifelong goal. Therefore, she tends to be attracted by men who are often older, successful, powerful, and unconventional. At the very beginning, this man looked very romantic by showering her with great attention. He is the one, she tells herself every time. However, after some time, she notices that these men are too self-absorbed and always busy having affairs with other women. In the end, she is very frustrated in this type of relationship, and the worst is, she is trapped in this pattern. The only way to get out of this trap is to see the pattern itself clearly. Remind herself constantly before starting a relationship, or stop the current toxic relationship without hesitation. That's all for today, the 6 common gender projection types. Hopefully, this video can help you better observe your and your partner's gender projection and get some insights of how to handle the situations. What do you think about our video? Leave comments below. We are very happy to see your feedback. If you have any questions or problems that you want to share with us, you're very welcome to write us emails, and we are always willing to help. If you like our content, please give a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe our channel Little Wisdom. With our purpose in mind, to improve people's mental health by empowering them to add a little bit wisdom into their lives every day, we are dedicated to delivering high-quality self-educating content by summarizing valuable knowledge from books in the field of human relationship, creativity, mindfulness in a professional, interesting, and practical way. Thank you so much for your time and efforts. I'm your lovely friend Muli. I wish you a wonderful day. See you next time.